We are diving into 5 things you could do today in 2025 to get started building your personal brand. These are things that I would do if I was starting over to get going and get that momentum, especially when we're busy. I realize that all of us have a limited amount of time, and especially when I was working in a corporate job 9 to 5, just finding a few minutes to do anything for yourself is downright impossible. I wanted to keep it easy for everyone today. Let's get into the 5 things I would give to you to focus on out of that list today. The first is I think we need to start expressing ourselves. If you want to start building your personal brand, one of the earliest things you can do is start to find your voice, start to find your perspective. And the easiest place to do this, other than podcasting, which I'm a big advocate of, the easiest way I'd say is to write LinkedIn articles showcasing your expertise. This is number 4 on my list of 100. And this is one of my favorites, especially if you can take those articles and then set up a LinkedIn newsletter, which there's just a button that says create newsletter on LinkedIn. And it's the exact same process. You don't really do anything other than write articles and say that they're a part of the newsletter you've created. What's great is when you do that, it sends that notification out to all your followers saying, do you want to follow Brandon's newsletter? So you have an immediate audience built in that you can start speaking to every week, sharing your ideas. And if that's too nerve-wracking, then don't create the newsletter yet. Just submit LinkedIn articles, and eventually you can connect them to a newsletter later. So writing and expressing yourself, that's the first thing that I would get started doing. In a simple written format, you can use ChatGPT to help you out, but start sharing ideas, telling your own stories, telling people things that you've seen, curate news in your industry, share ideas with your perspective added on top of it, maybe some stories to boot. So I would start there. The next thing I would do would be I would be attending some industry conferences. I would figure out what in your industry is worth attending that you could take the time to go to and visit and get to know people and learn what is new and happening in your industry. And I would go there with 2 goals. I would go there with the goal of learning from the speakers that you find interesting and getting to know new people. Talk to the people you're sitting next to. Talk to the people in line for lunch. Go to sit at tables that you don't know anybody and introduce yourself. Go to the meetups, the happy hours. Get to know people in your industry. And that's going to open your eyes to other ideas and perspectives, and start to branch out and build your network. And your network is a big part of your personal brand. So attending industry conferences and events is a big one. All right. The third thing I would do is I would get out there and join some associations in my field. I'd say, okay, what are places that regularly put together events and meetups and share news? And I would find an association in your industry. There's one for every industry out there, and join it, and then participate. See what the local events are that you could participate in. And as you get involved, I would see eventually if you could contribute in terms of volunteering or even stepping up and being on their leadership team for those associations. It's a great way to meet new people, to elevate your visibility in your industry, and get some opportunities to take on projects and leadership roles that you could then use in your resume, and to talk to other people about the cool things that you're doing. So joining a professional associations is the third thing that I would be doing. The next thing I would be doing is increasing the things that I am learning. So one of the great ways to do that is Udemy. Udemy.com has a ton of very easy to download and watch education videos. And I think it's $10 a month. And for that, you could watch a ton of free education videos or discounted courses about different topics. I myself have uploaded 3 different courses to Udemy. I have one on how to write and publish your own book. I have one on how to start a podcast, and I have one on how to create mini courses. And I continue to think about things I could add to that each year, but there's so many creators out there that have put their knowledge into this place, and it's more step by step than you'll find on YouTube. So a great way to start building your industry knowledge, better than listening to podcasts, which I also love. But this is very specific. You get to pick a topic that you think would be interesting to know more about. Some of the things that are very popular on Udemy right now are things about how to use ChatGPT better, how to use AI better. So anything that you think could be a skill that you want to learn and upskill would be a great thing to type in and start learning through people who've put together the knowledge for you. All right, so that's 4 things. And then the 5th thing for me on this list of 100, again, you can get those at brandsonbrands.com/refresh, is to figure out what kind of mentors you could be adding to your life. Coaches, mentors, people that could give you guidance on what to do next. That's always the fastest path to success, is not by experimenting and failing, but by learning from other people who've already done it. Now, those coaches and mentors could be people you work with, people you work for, your bosses or your boss's bosses, people you feel connected to, or you could find something you want to learn in an industry and see if there's already some kind of influencer, creator, mentor, or coach that teaches that kind of thing. When I wanted to get started podcasting, I found someone who taught podcast coaching. When I wanted to learn how to write a book, I took courses on how to write a book. When I wanted to learn how to do public speaking and run a business around public speaking, I found a mentor in the public speaking space who'd done it before me. So if you're looking to grow, one of the best things you can do is look for people that you look up to, consume their content, see what they put out there. And if they have a way of working with them, set up a meeting, get to know them better. If any of you are interested in talking to me, you can always go to brandsonbrands.com/coach and find a 15-minute phone call to talk to me and get to know me better. And maybe there's something we can work on together, a small project, a growth thing that you want to do, some personal development. Whatever you need, there's usually someone there who's done it before that could save you a lot of time. So that's the 5th thing. Easy things I would have done if I was getting started this year to get moving forward in the right direction, not things that are a heavy lift, things that anyone could do and get started right away. Hope that helps you guys get started building your personal brand. Check out the rest of those 100 personal branding activities at brandsonbrands.com/refresh. And I hope that you find them useful. I hope that motivates you to move forward and take some steps to build the brand that you want to be, to build the future you want ahead of you today. So thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Brands on Brands.